to Talking Black and Blue, where the rivalries run deep and every Sunday is a battle. I'm your man, Will McCann, and along with my partner, Tellis Everett, we're a couple of fans from the heart of the Midwest, bringing you real talk from the NFC North, the Black and Blue Division. So whether you rep Honolulu Blue, green and gold, purple and gold, or you repping the monsters of the Midway, you are in the right place. So lace up, strap in, and let's talk black and blue. Tell us, my man, what is up?
What's going on, my friend? What's up, friends and kinfolk? We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Will and I are real estate agents in the state of Michigan. So when we're not talking football, we're helping people score a touchdown in real estate. If you have questions, concerns, you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing, hit us up. Will McCann, Wild Card Weekend. Man, there were some good games this weekend.
And what a wild weekend it was, right?
Yes, sir.
All the games that came down to the final minute. Um, you and I just looked at the NFC games last week. This week we're going to look at all the games. But last week I was 1-2, and you were 2-1 last week. We both missed on the Chicago game. We both
Yeah,
had Green
yeah.
Bay winning that game, and then we both picked the Rams to go into Carolina and take down the Panthers. But you had the San Francisco 49ers beating the Philadelphia Eagles, and San Fran went in and got that game. And I, of course, took the Eagles in that one.
You took
But
the
yeah,
Eagles in that
great
game?
games, crazy games. They came down to the end, man. Go ahead and share with me, what were your thoughts on the games this weekend or last
You
week?
you took the Eagles in that game? Because I thought we were on the same
I
page.
took the Eagles. No, I took the Eagles. We both said it was going to be kind of the similar type game. You
Okay.
had a little higher scoring than I did. I thought it would be lower scoring. I thought it would be one of those outdoor games where Philly's defense would make enough plays to win the game. No, I had Philly winning that game.
Okay. Because I thought you agreed that there was some, because we were talking about the vibe of the team
I agreed.
and
Yes,
you agreed,
I
but you still felt like they were going to pull
and
it
I
out.
still
Okay.
thought they would come out with the victory. Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah,
All
you didn't forget the conversation. That was exactly the conversation.
right. All
You're just
right. All
going,
right.
wait a minute. After that, you still
Uh,
pick Philly? Yeah, yes, I
right.
did.
Right. Like, wait a minute. Okay. So yeah, when we were ending the pod last week, I hit my man Will McCann with the little gem.
Bro,
He
you
couldn't
hit me with
sleep
a
for
left
two
hook,
days.
man. No. You've seen those UFC fights where the fighters get together at the weigh-in and one guy sticks his hand out and the other guy sucker. That's what I felt like, man. I was like, whoa, where'd that come from?
So
I
yeah,
wasn't prepared for that.
right. So yeah,
But go ahead, man.
I dropped that little Josh Allen gem, and he came out and he played every single snap on offense and defense, and got the win for the Bills. So yeah, I mean that was impressive. Ben
That was
Johnson,
one of the great performances in playoff history, man.
yeah,
Like you said, the
definitely.
way he battled, the way he got knocked around, man. But yeah, go ahead.
I mean, that was a hard-hitting game. And the thing about Josh Allen is that we understand he has all the talent, but he
Yeah.
does make these knucklehead plays from time to time, or he'll fumble the ball or throw an interception or whatever. None of that happened.
Yeah.
He knew that there was no margin of error for him
None.
for
None.
this team to win, right?
None.
So he went out there and he got it done, right? We'll see what happens this week. I think it's going to be a little bit different story. But to continue, Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams, another comeback win,
Yes.
although it was against the Packers, who, let me just say this. How did they lose five in a row and I wasn't paying attention? Like, but even if I were paying attention to that, and I would have went the other way still. I would have said they would win, right? Because
Hmm.
how could you lose five in a row when you have Super Bowl aspirations?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, that was they ended the season ugly. And part of
right.
it is they didn't really play the last game of the season.
There's
And
that too.
and three of those games was Chicago. They won the first and then they lost the last two.
Yeah.
And both of those games came down to the end, man.
Yeah.
They really mismanaged the clock in that game at the end, man. And then they end
Mhm.
up missing the field goal anyway.
Right.
But had
Right.
they milked, instead of trying to get the first down and you missed the field goal anyway, if you milk the clock, milk their timeouts, you take another minute off the clock. Worst case, you take 45 seconds off the clock.
Right.
You kick the field goal, you miss it. Now they don't have enough time to go all the way down and score a touchdown. The best they can do is score a game tying field goal and you get an opportunity in overtime. But yeah, they mismanaged the clock. And I always say uh, players make mistakes. Players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, and referees make mistakes, right?
Hmm.
And if you're
Hmm.
going to win, you've got to overcome mistakes that are made. But the
Absolutely.
referees did make a mistake, I thought, um, in that 2 minute drill or late in that game. And I think it was at the 3:18 mark. It was the pass to Dobbs where Dobbs hit the ground and rolled out of bounds.
Hmm.
Dobbs was down in bounds. I thought they should have, when he went out of bounds, I thought they should have stopped the clock. Nobody touched him in bounds. He
Yeah.
landed and rolled out of bounds. They should have stopped the clock. I'm sorry. I take that back. When he landed, the D back did touch him. Then he rolled out of bounds, and the referee said he was out of bounds. They stopped the
Right.
clock.
And they
I
stopped the
thought
clock.
the clock should have kept rolling there. I didn't even think they looked back at it. And
Yeah.
maybe the D back didn't touch him on the foot, but it looked like he kicked the D back as he's rolling out of bounds. He should have been down in bounds. The clock should have kept winding. That would have helped them make, even if they throw another pass, they still take another 35 seconds off the clock. So I
Right.
thought that hurt them. But yeah, them not running the football there and trying to pass the ball, I thought hurt them.
Right. Right. Right.
And you mentioned during our pregame show when we were talking about the Packers. We did the pregame. I mean, I said pregame, the preseason shows when we
Mhm.
focused on each team. You said then that you felt like LaFleur made a lot of mistakes at the end of games, and I
Yeah.
think it came to fruition a couple of times this season. Definitely on in that
Right.
playoff game it did.
And they're considering re-upping them. So, right.
Here's
We
the thing, though.
we
When
got
you, to
nine
me,
positions. We got nine coaching spots available,
nine, bro,
and
nine.
and they're
A
like,
quarter of
yeah,
the league.
no, there's nobody better. We'll sign him up again. And he's a good coach,
No, that's a third of the
right?
league. I said a quarter. That's a third of the league. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a good coach, but at some point you have to look at it and be like, okay, we've gone as far as we can with this particular individual, right?
Yeah,
So I don't
it
know.
it's tough to me because they have had. He has been successful as the coach. He
Yeah,
has brought Bryce Young. I mean, not Bryce Young.
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. He has brought Jordan Love along to me. Helped develop him. You know, the you can't win big games. I think it's hung on coaches too quickly.
Hmm.
When you hire a first time coach, it's like hiring a first time guy for any other position. You've got to give the guy an opportunity to learn how to do the job. And I know he's what, 7 years in now? And you would think some of that would be better by now. But I think back to, they hung that title on Tom Landry, they hung it on in another sport, Mike Krzyzewski. And there have been
Hmm.
other, Andy Reid
Andy Reid. Yep.
wore that, right?
Yep.
That he
Yep.
couldn't win the big one. And it isn't that they can't. It is that it is difficult to. How many coaches like Mike Tomlin, like John Harbaugh, like other Super Bowl winning coaches who've been fired, who won Super Bowls early in their career and then go long stretches without winning the Super Bowl. It isn't
Yeah,
that the game is changing or the game has passed them up. It is that it's hard to win. Some
this is
guys
true.
win early, some guys win late, and some guys just don't get the opportunity at all because it takes so long. I mean, it is so difficult. And
Yeah.
sometimes owners aren't patient enough to give you the opportunity. So, man, it's a hard decision, though, man. We were talking
But the
last week
Green Bay Packers have what, 200,000 owners?
that never sit down at the table together, right? It's a difficult decision because you mentioned last week we were talking about the Vikings, and I was talking about salary cap and all the players that would have been impacted had they tried to keep Sam Darnold. And you said, yeah, but it's harder to find that QB than it
Hmm.
is to find any of those other positions you mentioned,
Yeah,
right? And
right.
is it that way? How easy is it to replace a coach who has been successful? How many
Right.
times have we seen a playoff winning coach get replaced and the other guy comes in and does that well or better? Usually that guy ends up getting replaced too.
Right.
Um,
Right.
you have to be careful about setting yourself backwards when you talk about replacing coaches. So, that's a hard one for me because to me, the
Yeah.
guy has been successful. He's a young coach who I think um, I don't want to say that he hasn't grown into the coach I think he can be. I just think, he's come up short. His team has come up short at times for an organization who just expects more, right? And he
Right.
may bear the weight of that, and that may cost him his job, right? Where
Yeah.
if he had the same performance for, I'm going to say, not the Tennessee Titans because they love to change coaches. But let's say the Atlanta Falcons, who I think has a stable owner, right? Had the Falcons been having these kinds of performances, I think Arthur Blank would stay with that coach.
Okay.
Green Bay, that weight may be too heavy for LaFleur, so we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah.
What was the other game? So, what did you think about the Rams Carolina game?
Rams Carolina game. So, yeah, I was surprised it took the Rams a little bit of time to get going on
Mm-hmm.
that, but Matt Stafford, fourth quarter, I mean, he had like 15 completions, over 100 yards, two touchdowns. I mean, it was just, they play a really, really, man, it's so detailed, right?
Yeah,
And that passing game, like he can, Matthew Stafford can almost throw the ball blindfolded because he knows where his receivers are going to be on the inside, right?
yeah.
Any of those routes that they're running on in between the hashes,
Mm-hmm.
um, in between the numbers, man, they're so pinpoint accurate
So
and they do
precise. Yes,
so precise. Man,
yes.
it just man, it was amazing to watch. Back and forth game. Right. Yeah, it was a fun game to watch. What were your thoughts?
After the 2021 season, I really wondered how much longer Matthew Stafford would play, right?
Hmm.
Because at
Hmm.
the end in Detroit, he was kind of beat up. He's having back issues. And anybody who's dealt with back issues knows how difficult that can be, how it can flare up on you at any moment. And we're talking about a professional athlete
Right.
who's having back issues. I wasn't sure, how long he would play, but man, he has played so well these last two seasons. Even though there were some questions coming into this season, whether or not the
Right.
Rams
Right.
even wanted to keep him, right?
Hmm.
Still playing at an elite level, like you said, still displaying elite arm talent, right? And
Right.
I think his understanding of the game, especially since he's played in that Sean McVay system, has really elevated in the back end of his career. That's allowed
Hmm.
him to play at a high level, man. Carolina just happens to be better than I thought they were, man. And I think Bryce Young is a gamer, man. He doesn't. He doesn't appear to have any superpower. There isn't anything he seems to do well but make plays, right? And
Right,
that's
right.
the quarterback is paid to make plays. I
Yeah.
don't think he will ever be an elite quarterback, but I think he can be serviceable. And if you put a good enough team around him, I think I hate to say it this way, but I think he's good enough to play quarterback for you until you can find a better one.
Well, I think part of the I think part of the thing for Bryce Young is that he he still looks like the same quarterback he was in college
Yes,
to me, right? He has the ability to get the ball down there. He'll scramble when it's needed, and he's a much better athlete than
yes,
maybe he gives himself credit for.
yes,
You see what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
So he'll and he showed that ability to scramble.
yeah,
Um, but to your point, yeah, you're just holding on until somebody pops up.
yeah. And that's not a bad place to be. That's not a bad position. There are teams in worse positions than that, right? There are lots of teams looking for a Bryce Young. If we could just get a Bryce Young,
Yeah,
we could go out and compete. Bryce gives you the ability to compete week to week. If you can run the football and play defense, you will be competitive in any game. And then if you can get
yeah.
your quarterback to make a couple of plays, you'll have the ability to win. But yeah, the Rams, I think, are too good on defense. Um, I thought even when in the fourth quarter when they kept going back and forth, I thought the Rams defense would get the stop they needed. Didn't necessarily do that, and then it comes down
Right,
to the end. And Matthew Stafford, and I'm always comparing Caleb and Matt to Matthew, and they both had big performances at the end of the game to get their teams wins. And like you
right,
said,
right.
Matthew Stafford just doing Matthew Stafford things.
Exactly. And the Panthers should, not that there's any moral victories in the NFL, but the Packers
Yeah.
should feel good because they went into that game like a 10-point underdog
Yes.
in their own crib, and they made it competitive. And that was the thing. I think that was the game I texted you like, this game is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. You did. Because it's like,
Just
yeah, they are
because I wasn't
battling it out
expecting
here.
it, and it was just man, just up and down. I mean, it was like West Coast, Showtime basketball or something. It
Right,
was
right. It was
just
we
ridiculous.
we thought we were watching an old what was it, what was the WAC conference, the Western Athletic Conference with
Right,
BYU and Utah and
right,
all them
exactly,
passing teams.
exactly, exactly.
It looked like some
So,
of that.
so yeah, they should feel good, and the fans should be proud of what the team put out there and the effort that they showed. So, yeah.
All right, well, let's turn the page and let's talk about the divisional round. Spend some time there. And this week, let's talk about both the NFC and the AFC teams as we start to march toward the Super Bowl. So let's start by talking about the AFC games. We haven't talked AFC football all season. Let's talk a little AFC here. And let's talk about that first game, the Buffalo Bills traveling to the Mile High City to take on the Denver Broncos. What are your thoughts on that?
So the the Broncos definitely have the edge in the sense that they have a rushing game, they have an elite defense, and this is where I think the game's going to be a lot different for the Bills as they go into it. Um, so it for me, I'm just looking at it like if the Bills get behind, right? How much can Josh Allen do when you only have Diggs and what's the other guy's name? He
The
only
tight
has two
end,
receivers.
Dalton Schultz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It's just like where are they going to go with this? So if we're talking, are we doing predictions? Is that what we're getting into?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about both teams, and then we'll give the predictions. Let's do it that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yep. So. Um, and I think with Sean Payton over there, he's got Bo Nix playing at a high level. If they're gonna go for it on fourth down, it doesn't matter if it's on their own 35-yard line.
Yes,
So
yes,
so between the rushing attack that the Broncos have and also the defense that the Broncos have, I just see it being a tough road for the Bills. And the Bills defense is not that solid. So yeah, they got some issues there, right? And they have a ton of injuries.
yeah,
They
yeah,
have a ton of injuries. And we didn't talk about it, but that was one of the things that impressed me about the 49ers is that they were able to execute their game plan even with all the injuries that they have, right?
yeah, yeah,
But for the Bills, it, they're missing a lot, and it
yeah,
shows. And you had to have a perfect game from Josh Allen in order to get out of the wild card. I don't think
right.
that happens. I don't think it happens next week.
Yeah, and you know how I am about well, the Broncos. I agree with you about the Broncos. Everything you said about the Broncos. They bring defense and run game into this playoff, right? So they will
Mhm.
definitely be competitive. They have the best pass rush in the NFL, right? So they get you into a lot of third and long or obvious pass situations, right? Second and long, third and long, and then they come after you and they get the quarterback on the ground. That's what I'm impressed with about them. They don't just disrupt the quarterback like Houston. They get the guy on the ground. So yeah, I think that makes them formidable. And then, like you said, Sean Payton and his ability to bring along a quarterback, right? His ability to understand the strengths of a quarterback, and him
Right.
bringing along Bo Nix. And people talk about Dan Campbell being the coach who always goes for it on fourth down. He learned that from Sean Payton, right? And he talks
Right.
about how he learned that from Payton. Payton
Yep.
is the gunslinger, right? He's not afraid to go for it on fourth down if he feels this is the right time for us to do it. Famously, the guy
Mhm.
starts, scores a touchdown, comes out of the second half of the Super Bowl, scores a
Right.
touchdown, and then does an onside kick, right?
Right. Right.
And
Right.
Indy never gets back into the game after that, even with Peyton Manning, right? So
Right.
yeah, I trust Sean Payton and his ability to coach his team through big games. I worry about the team that have buys, right?
Mm.
Um, that team can often get flat, and they're playing a team who's already into the spirit of the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
It's like in the NBA when one team finishes a series where another team still has a game or two they have to play and then they meet in the next round. The team who's been kind of sitting around a bit can come in flat. I thought that happened to the Detroit Lions last year when they got that week off. So
Hmm.
it'll be interesting to see how Peyton gets his team through that this week. The issue I think Buffalo's going to have is they're going to the Mile High City, right?
Right.
And if you've been out there, that altitude is real. Right?
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
talk about guys expending energy. Denver and their ability to win playoff games at home. Uh, People talk about home field advantages in certain cities, Philly and New York, Chicago with the cold, Seattle with the noise.
Right.
Denver with the altitude is a huge advantage also, and I think that'll be a lot for Buffalo to overcome.
Yeah.
Buffalo, and there, like you said about last week, Josh Allen, dude, you mentioned at the beginning that you had me heated. Jokingly that I was heated about that take because it was that left hook that came out of nowhere. I wasn't ready for it, right? I didn't know what to do. I was stunned.
Uh,
Ryan Clark actually did get me heated, man, because my man said Friday before the game, he said if Buffalo loses, it is Josh Allen's fault.
mm.
That is the narrative that I do not like and do not agree with, right?
No, and
That's
we
one of
talked
those
about
situations where the quarterback gets too much credit when they win and way too much blame when they lose. So you can't say if they lose, it's on that guy, it's on the quarterback, right?
right,
No,
right.
because it can't be a team game and then tell me one guy is responsible if you win or lose. That narrative I've never bought into. You talk about you've talked about his importance to the team, his impact on the game, his ability to be a gamer and get through tough times in the game. The guy is all of that. He can do it. We talked about JJ. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that may have talked about somebody else from another team outside of the division during the season being similar to Josh Allen, right? Or having
Hmm.
Caleb, you actually compared his stats
Okay.
to Josh
Yep.
Allen at the beginning of the season. Um,
No, I compared the stats to JJ, Josh Allen and JJ.
You compared Josh Allen and JJ stats?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And I know I said JJ is the poor man's Josh Allen, right?
Right.
JJ can, Josh can play that way because he's big and physical. Like I said, this guy is 6'5", 240, all right? JJ can't play like that with that frame of his, man. It will not hold up.
Yeah, I agree with you about the situation that Josh Allen's in. It's not totally on him.
Right.
And yeah, I like to just throw stuff out there and we have a conversation about it, but we talked about it. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
believe that is solely his responsibility. However, in order for the Bills to win, he does have to play well because they have so many issues,
yes,
right?
yes.
And when we talk about teams that are loaded, he doesn't have a loaded offensive team.
No, he
He's
doesn't.
he's throwing to Brandon Cooks and Shivers or Shavers. Like who are who? So so
Dalton
again,
Schultz is tight end, yeah, but yeah, he
so
doesn't have a lead
again, it's
receiver.
like he has the potential to carry the team, but it's not going to be his fault solely if
Exactly,
they don't win, right?
exactly. That I agree.
And
I agree with
in
that.
in the way that it's all played out, he's the last man standing of those quarterbacks that we talked about that he couldn't get over the hump,
Right?
right? But at the end of the day, it's a team game.
Yes,
It's
yes,
a team
yes,
game,
yes,
right?
yes,
So yeah,
yes.
they lose to Denver. I can't be upset with that.
Right.
And I agree with you about the whole bye week thing, but I
Yes,
think Denver, the way that they play football, they have the advantage of not succumbing to that bye week because
yes,
all they
I
have to
agree.
do is win in the trenches,
Yes, yes,
right?
I agree.
It's not a skill. I'm not going to say it's not a skilled game. They don't have to rely on the skilled players if they're doing what they need to do in the trenches.
Yes, I
And
agree.
that's a lot easier to get done even after a bye week.
Yeah, I agree. If you can, yeah, like I said, coming out running the football and being a defensive team, yes, that those teams are better coming out of the bye. So
Hmm.
go ahead and give me a prediction. Tell me how you see this game going.
I have this game. Uh, so the Broncos are favored by 1.5. The over-under is 46.5. I have the Broncos 24, Bills 20. I do see it being a closer game. And for some reason, I feel like the Bills will be able to stay in the game because of big plays,
Yeah,
right? But the way I see it really happening is that with Sean Payton at control, running the ball, they're going to be able to control the time of possession and really kind of it could be one of those games where you don't see a lot of scoring,
mhm.
right? But you just see Denver just pounding, 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 and then when it comes to the defense, you're going to see the Bills three and out. So and a lot of punts. So, but but that's how I see it, right? And we
Yeah,
talked
yeah,
about it. Sean Payton's going for it on fourth down. So
right,
again,
right.
they're just going to hold on to the ball as much as they can and run it, run it down your throat, and not so much hide Bo Nix, but use him limitedly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
That's how
that's
they're
how they've been
winning.
winning games.
That's how they're winning. Absolutely.
Yeah, so I have a Broncos 24, Bills 20.
I have it almost the exact same score.
Okay.
I think I've got one less touchdown and two more field goals.
Okay.
So I see a Denver 24, Buffalo 19. Because I'm thinking, like you said, I think it's going to be that game where Denver's defense is pretty much going to control this game.
Right.
Buffalo's going to make some big plays, though. Those big plays, I think, will get them into field goal range, and Denver's defense will take over. I think they will force a lot of field goals
Hmm.
in this game. I don't see Buffalo getting into the end zone often,
Yeah.
and I see it being Denver's defense winning the field position battle and
Yep.
giving Bo Nix and the offense an opportunity to have some short fields and to get some points on the board. So yeah,
Yep.
I see it almost the exact same way. I see it Denver 24, Buffalo 19.
Oh, okay. That was like 1 point different.
Right, that's why I said yeah, almost the same. Yeah.
So what we're saying is, if you're betting, don't be a knucklehead,
Yeah.
but take the under.
If we were betting, that would be what we're saying, right? And you know what? I knew right away once I had an odd number like 19, that instantly looks like a betting number, right? It looks like you set that number up. It's going to be 4 points and not three. I mean, it's going to
Right.
be 5 points and not 4 points.
But you know what happened this weekend? There were probably 4 to 5 missed extra points.
Yes, yes.
Like, I don't want to talk about it, but something's going on there, man.
People, what happens? People talk about how they want to narrow the goalposts to make the
Hmm.
field goals more difficult. People are making them from further out. Yeah, they do in September and October. When
Right.
it's cold outside and the wind starts blowing, that ball don't sail quite the same way. So yeah, that's what's happening in some of these outdoor games. Outside and it's cold, that ball don't float the same way.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't remember a weekend where I've seen so many
Or
missed
we've seen so
extra
many, right?
points. Extra points. Come on.
Right. So let's look at the next AFC game. The Houston Texans traveling to New England to take on the Patriots. How do you see that game?
So, yeah, the Patriots are favored by 3. The over-under is 40. I have it Texans 17, Patriots 13.
Mm,
I struggled with this. I really did because the Patriots have looked good all season, right? And they've done a really great job, and they're winning at home, all that kind of stuff.
mhm,
But when I look at the Texans defense,
mm.
they don't have any guys that are afraid to hit.
That defense is different.
And they are flying. Like
That
I don't,
defense
it's like they have trampolines under their feet when they're like ejecting and
yes.
hitting people, right? So I I just believe that that defense is gonna make something happen, just like they did last week. They're gonna make something happen. So I'm going against the grain. I'm taking the Texans. And I got it as a low scoring game too. So I just feel between those two, and the Patriots play a really great defense too. So
What
there's
do you
that.
think about Drake May and his MVP caliber season?
Look, there's something to it when you can put up numbers, right? You're gonna be in the conversation. But he does not. Wait, I'm gonna rephrase this. He last week he wasn't ready for prime time,
Mm.
right? He wasn't ready. So again, I feel like he could he can produce some big plays with his legs. I don't know if he's going to be able to do anything with his arms, with the Texans and the way that they're playing. And my concern is he gets out there and he's running, and those dudes, man, they're hitting.
They come fast and with bad intentions, don't they?
Right, right. But they got the little safety with the guardian cap on.
Yeah. You
Man,
know he ready to hit somebody, right? He ready
exactly.
to knock somebody's stuff loose, right?
Like he got a guardian cap on the defense. This dude is ready to play. He has found the cheat code.
Yeah. He is
So
ready for the action. Like
he's ready for
Marshawn
the
Lynch said, I'm
action.
about that action, boss. Yeah,
He's,
my man about that action, bro.
but I would say in any other year, someone that puts up numbers the way Drake May has and the team is
Mhm.
winning, you would probably have a higher percentage chance of winning the MVP. But that MVP belongs to Matt Stafford. I'm sorry. It does.
I hear you. Well, me as I see this game, I see, and I agree with you. I agree with everything you said about this game. Houston and that defense is elite. It is different, right? Yeah, they've got guys who are mobile, agile, and hostile, right?
That's right.
They have bad intentions on every play, and they are bringing it. Yeah, they've got the best two edge rushers, and Anderson and my man used to play in Philly. I mean Minnesota. Can't think of his name right now, but they've got the best set of edges in the league. Uh, I think they will make it difficult on Drake. I agree with you. So he's obviously a young quarterback who
Yeah.
knows how to manage the game. I think their offensive coordinator, McDaniel, knows how to get a quarterback through games, right?
Hmm.
He seems to work well as a coordinator. His head coaching, that leaves a little bit to be desired, right?
Yeah.
But I think Josh McDaniels can get him through a game. I think they're going to have a hard time running the football. But if Ramondre Stevens can break off a couple of long runs, they'll have a chance. I just don't see that happening more than once against this Houston defense.
Hmm.
Maybe they hit a seam once and he breaks off a big run and scores. But I don't see a lot of big plays by them. I see it as a grinded out game, outdoors in the cold. But I think Houston is built for that kind of game. And
Right.
this one I see Houston 20, New England 16.
Okay.
Similar score to
I don't
what
feel
you
so bad now because I
Yeah.
was like, I'm looking at like, how's Patriots three? Oh man,
Yeah, I no,
I'm
I
good about my
agree with
pick.
you, man. I think it gets harder in the playoffs, right? It
Hmm.
isn't as easy for either team in the playoffs.
Right.
Turn the
Right.
page
Right.
and talk about the NFC. Following our discussion last week about the playoffs, let's turn and talk about San Francisco 49ers traveling to Seattle to take on the Seahawks. How do you see that game?
Yeah. So the 49ers, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, they impressed me the most last weekend because they were able to overcome injuries. And they had what's his name go? The tight end. He went down. He's out.
Kittles went down. Yeah, he
Kittles, yeah. Kittles went out. But you might be getting Warren back. He might be coming back.
okay.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard.
But
Yeah, that'll be positive for them.
yeah. But the thing about the 49ers is you got CMC and you got Purdy.
Hmm.
And I don't know what it is about Purdy, man. That kid. He he like whatever 175 pounds he's got. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
So he's gonna keep him in the game. The thing about the Seahawks though is they have some elite offensive players. I know Darnold is a quarterback, and I think he might have it in his head that this is my year, right?
Mhm.
This is it. I got all the weapons that I need. I just got to manage this game, stay out of trouble, and perform well. The defense is going to help us out, that type of thing. So when I look at the game, the Seahawks are favored by 7.5, which is a
Yes, it
huge
is.
number, right? So I got the Seahawks actually 28, the 49ers 20.
Mm.
I just don't think the 49ers are going to be able to stop the Seahawks. They might be able to contain them and be a field goals with the touchdowns for the Seahawks, but I just don't think that the 49ers defense and the injuries that they have, even with Fred Warner coming back, are going to be able to contain the weapons that the Seahawks have. And I just don't, and I feel like their defense, the Seahawks defense, is better, is rock solid and a bit better than what we saw from the Eagles. And then you talked about it, you're going into Seattle. It was one of the toughest places to play, right?
Yes, yes, yes. All right. So I want you to remember this discussion on next week when we meet to record our show,
Hmm.
because I think you're going to have the same feeling next week that you had this week when we talked about the Eagles, right? Because I agree with everything you said about Seattle, right? So
Oh,
uh, we are San Francisco is traveling to Seattle. This
yes,
will be the second week in a row that they are on the road traveling, right? And you know how I don't like teams traveling 2 weeks in a row.
right.
Um, Seattle's defense is every bit as elite as Houston's defense is, right?
Hmm.
Houston's probably better in the front seven. Seattle's probably better in their back seven, right?
Yeah.
Um, but they are an elite defense also. So yeah, they are. I see this as being a close, low scoring game, but
Okay.
I am picking the San Francisco 49ers
I felt it coming. I felt it coming.
to go into Seattle and get this playoff win. This is the kind of game Kyle Shanahan uh, wins when since he's been in San Francisco. I remember them going into Green Bay in a divisional round game and winning a big game. They have the ability to go on the road and win these big playoff games. I see this being one of those. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a little more low scoring than you have it. I have San Francisco scoring 20 points also, but
Okay.
I only have Seattle scoring 17. So I think it'll come down to Seattle. San Francisco. I just feel that Robert Saleh, knowing this offense, knowing this team, knowing their personnel, will be able to scheme up something. Seattle's going to move the ball up and down the field. Will they be able to put the ball in the end zone? I think that's where San Francisco will make the difference in this game.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying. And I know it was week 18 and it was what, 13-3 or something like that.
Yep,
But it was
yep.
week 18, so we really can't put too much into it.
No, you got to put
But
everything into that because that game, they were playing, the winner of that game got the week off. The other team had to travel, right? So, no,
right.
that was a big game that Seattle won at home. So, this,
It,
just like the Bears and Packers, this will be the third time these two teams have met, right?
right, right.
And just like, and it could be the same thing. Just like last week, I thought Green Bay would go into Chicago win, and that didn't happen.
But
It
they
certainly could be the same thing this week. It isn't, like I said, going against the grain of everything I always say. I just
right.
have a feel about San
You have a
Francisco.
feel. You
I
have
just
a
have a
feel
feel about
that
San Francisco and the way they've played. I just have a feeling they can scratch out this victory. And I'm a little concerned about a young team who hasn't been in the playoffs having that week off.
yeah, I the thing about the week off is real, definitely. But I will say they contained Brock Purdy, right? I think he had like 120 yards passing. They sacked him 3 times. CMC only had like 40 yards rushing. So that defense is real.
The defense is elite. Yes, I agree with you. And yeah,
Yeah.
and you talk about Purdy, man. I don't know if you've ever seen I don't know if it was a 30 for 30 or another documentary about the Dream Team, but they were showing, oh, what's my man's name? The guard who played for Utah. Oh, played with the mailman.
Oh, Stockton.
John Stockton. John
Yeah, yeah.
Stockton was walking around Barcelona with a T-shirt of the Dream Team on it, and people were stopping him on the street, admiring the shirt, and he would ask them, "Do they know the members of the team?" And he said, "Yeah, yeah." And they were pointing out players, and he point to himself and say, "Who's this guy?" And then, no, I don't know who that is. Right? That would be Brock Purdy, right?
Well,
If
did you
Brock
see
Purdy went anywhere, you would not think that guy is an NFL football player, right?
did you
You
see
would wonder,
Marshawn Lynch's post last week?
say that again?
Did you see Marshawn Lynch's post last
No,
week?
no, I didn't.
It was a post with the Seahawks offensive, and he was like something. Maybe it was a couple weeks ago. It was like great game in words, right? And Darnold's in the middle of it, and he's like, "My bad, good game, Ginger Cuz."
Marshawn, a wild boy, man.
Oh man, I was like, this dude, Ginger Cuz.
A
So yeah,
wild boy, man. But yeah,
so
that's
yeah.
how I see
But
it,
that
man.
but
I,
that Brock
I think
Purdy,
it
John
will be.
Stockton analogy is great. I love it.
Yeah, I think it will be a great football game. I think it'll be similar to the last one, but I just think Seattle's going to come out a bit flat, and I think San Francisco's on that playoff high right now.
Hmm.
And then coming down to the last game takes us back to the black and blue division with the monsters of the Midway. When we get off the phone, I'm going to send you. I wish I could play it here. I don't have it. I wish I had thought about it and had this video queued up. I told you I always talk about my cousin Zach, who lives in Chicago but is a Packers fan.
Yeah, yeah.
I saw a video of some guy. It's an old '80s song. I think it's that cameo song, "Candy."
Okay.
And dude
Yeah.
has his Chicago gear on. He's just standing in front of his house getting down. And it says every fan in Chicago. I sent that to my cousin, and I'm like, yeah, I know that's how you feeling right now. Right? Everywhere you turn, I know you see this right now.
Right, right. Exactly.
But yeah,
Exactly.
the Rams traveling to Chicago to take on the Bears. Tell me how you see that.
Rams are favored by 3.5. The over and under is 48.5. I got a Rams 38, Bears 35.
Ooh. Go ahead.
If the Bears can solve the Matt Stafford riddle of him throwing between the numbers, if they can get him to throw outside the numbers, he is less accurate, right? There's more chance of failure when he throws outside the numbers, so toward the sidelines and things like that.
Yeah.
If the Bears can get him to do that, they have a chance of winning this game. I don't see them being able to do that. I just see this being a track meet. Both teams just, Caleb's going to have a career year or a career game, right? Just yards everywhere. Stafford's going to be doing no look passes and all that kind of stuff. So I, it should be a fun watch in that sense. I don't know what the weather is or what's happening with that, but I just feel like both teams just have really, really powerful offenses. And you got big brain Ben Johnson over there. He's going to drop some plays. You got McVay over
Get
there.
the
He's going to
brain
drop.
unbend.
You got McVay over there. He's going to drop some plays. So I just feel, and that kid Puka Nacua, man, just he's a hard kid to bring down.
Yes, yes,
He plays like he's 6'6",
yes, he
280,
does. Yes, he
right?
does.
He'll put a helmet on you, and
He
it doesn't
plays like a
matter.
running back.
Plays like a running back. He converted to a defensive back when Matthew Stafford tried to give a ball away.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. I think the I think the Bears run out of time,
Mm,
and this
mm.
is the game.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see it scoring quite that high, but I
Okay.
see it being a game that is that close, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I think it'll be similar. I think this game will be more similar to the Packers game last week.
Okay.
I think you will see um, Stafford and the Rams offense have some successes. I think you'll see them move the ball down the field. But I do think Chicago's defense will make some plays. Stafford and his tendency to turn the ball over is like you said, is when he's throwing the ball outside the numbers, is because he always relies on his arm talent, right? He
Hmm.
always thinks he can get the ball in there.
Yeah.
And he never gives up on a play. Sometimes it's throw the ball away and let's live to play another down. And he has always, his entire career, had a hard time doing that, right?
Right.
So that can rear its ugly head in a game like this when he's trying to win, especially late. But I think we're going to see something similar from both teams, right? I think we're going to
Mhm.
see a lot of scoring early, and then in 2 minutes on both ends, at the end of the half and the end of the game, we're going to see scoring, right? I think that's where
Yeah.
we're going to see the bulk of the scoring in this game. I think the defense will control the middle part of the game. And I see this one as the LA Rams 23, Chicago 20.
Okay. All right. So we are
So we both have it as a 3-point game, but you've got the over, I've got the under.
got the under.
It's cold. And you said you don't know what the weather going to be. It's January in Chicago, bro. It's cold.
It's cold. It's cold, but it
It's
didn't
going to
matter.
be cold and windy. It's going to be below 35, and the wind is going to be blowing.
But you're talking about two quarterbacks that have cannons for arms. They can throw through the wind. It's just that the kickers can't do anything.
It's going to be the kickers, and if it gets too cold and they've got to put gloves on to go out and play, that will affect the passing games also. But both teams are effective running the football. I think you'll see
Right.
Kyron Williams and that
Yep.
guy who hates me, DeAndre Swift, go
Yep.
out there and do their thing this weekend.
Yeah. LA's got Kyron Williams and what's the kid from Michigan?
Oh, the kid from Michigan, Blake Corum.
Yeah, Blake Corum.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
keep forgetting about Blake. Yeah, Blake in the red zone is nasty, right? He can
Yep.
He reminds me. I don't want to make. I won't say that because people will start jumping on me for making that comparison. But he's a guy who has a nose for the end zone. He knows how to get the ball across the goal line.
Yeah. Yeah. So both teams have a set of running backs where
Yes.
they can run the
Yeah.
ball, but I just think it's going to come down to those quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
In
Which
Chicago,
quarterback can make the
and
most?
Chicago has an issue that they need to score early. They can't get behind the Stafford.
I
They
agree
can't.
with that. I agree with that.
So
The Rams' defense and their ability to rush the passer, I think, will disrupt the Bears' passing game.
right.
You look at Caleb's numbers; they don't wow you, but the guy make wow plays, right? So
He's a
if he
he
can make a couple of wow plays, Chicago will definitely have a chance.
yeah, and he can definitely do that.
Yes, yes,
Definitely do that. So again, it's a situation where as long as Chicago can score early and stay in the game, they have a chance.
yes,
They have a
yes.
chance. Yeah.
So my man, that's all I've got for this week, man. Got anything to wrap us up with this week?
Yeah, you know what? Just saying that we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We really enjoy doing this podcast and sharing our thoughts with you guys. But when we're not out here talking football, we are doing real estate. So hit us up if you're thinking about buying or selling or investing in the next 3 days, 3 weeks, or 3 months. We'll hook you up with our winning game plan. Fellas, share the pie with your buddies, and ladies, share it with your crew. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And don't be a knucklehead. Drop that 5-star review.
Hey, appreciate that, Tel. Yes, Tellis said we are realtors, right? In fact, I'm traveling this weekend going to visit family in Illinois, and I've got a client who hit me up online who wants to talk to me while I'm down there. So, yeah, anywhere in the Midwest, anywhere in the black and blue division, we are able to assist you. All right. So,
That's
with
right.
that, hey, we love you guys, and we will see you next time.
Yes, sir.